Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Almost through the week, thank goodness. Oh boy, sorry. So today we're talking about, in a continuation of last week, talking about sorting Spotify folders. I get this question a lot, shocking, right? I do have a million different ways that I do this, so I'm going to kind of walk you through the basics. So Spotify, I know a lot of you use Spotify for your classes. It's wonderful. It really is. I don't think we take that much time to appreciate how helpful it is and how much better it is than iTunes. So for those of you still using iTunes, maybe consider a switch. I did use Apple Music for a little while, but I just find Spotify to be way more conducive to class planning in the abilities that we have to organize. So I'm going to walk through some basics. I do have a whole course on this, which I always forget to do this, but I will put the link in the comments. The benefit of that is that I do a screen share, so you can actually see exactly how I set mine up. It might be more helpful for someone who is new to Spotify, or you just feel like so lost in Spotify and you want to learn all the little tips and tricks. It's cheap, it's easy to go through it, but it's always up on my website if you find you need it. So today, folders. So when we're planning our classes, I need you to think about, hey, Kimberly, how's it going? I need you to think about how you plan your class, right? So we all kind of have our methods to our madness, and they're all a little bit different. So you have to organize your Spotify in a way that's conducive to your madness method. If you don't have a method to planning your classes, I can help you with that, but you definitely need one. Another thing on my website, Cycle Poet Method, it's a whole course that kind of walks you through the basics of planning a class and then gives a system to it. So if that's something you need, also check that out. So think about it this way. A lot of people start with music, right? A lot of us hear a song and we're like, oh, I really want to use that in class. Or a lot of people create like a course. So in your head, you have the terrain mapped out. Maybe you even draw it, right? So maybe we start with a slow build. We get into a very heavy climb, and then we run down the backside of the hill to finish. Things like that are the way that you plan your class, the way that you envision what you want the 45 minutes, the 60 minutes, whatever it is to look like. Think about how you go about that process, and think about how you can connect your organization and Spotify to help you with that flow. So, excuse me, I'm like gross today. So I have, first of all, I save every playlist I do, and I label it by date and by type of class. So a lot of us teach different modes of fitness. A lot of us teach different types of spin. So I have, at my studio, we do two kinds. I've talked about this before. We do a train ride, which is more similar to old school spinning, limited choreography and really focused on the drills, the juicy stuff, the heavy hills, the endurance, all that. Then we also have a tempo ride, which is more of a choreographed ride. So I label mine based on that. I label my songs a lot of times based on that. I do folders for those two different kinds because it is a very different crowd, as you would expect, and it's a very different ride. So I label by themes. So like Halloween is coming up. I started a Halloween folder, and I'm starting to sort things as I see songs come up or I think of songs, so that by the time I get to my Halloween playlist, I have a whole bunch of stuff to pick from. Now, granted, I have 10 plus years of spinning under my belt, so I do already have a lot of music in there, but it's still helpful to create those folders. Other things and themes are by decades. So, I have like early 2000s hip hop. I have specific artists, that sort of thing. So themes are great. You can also sort. So the big ones, the two big like sorting mechanisms that I use all the time, every time I plan a playlist, are by time and by RPM. So I have buckets. It's like one folder. So Spotify allows you to create a folder with more folders in it. Awesome. So I have a time folder, and it's anything, 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Then it's 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 50. So I have every minute length that I could possibly need. And then I have an RPM folder, and I do it by groups of about 10. So it's maybe a 55 to 65, a 65 to 75, and so on and so forth. That way, when I'm building a playlist, say I just need one more song, and I need it to be a certain time length, right? Because it has to finish at a certain time. And I need it to be a heavy hill. so I need a specific RPM. I can search and I can sort until I can find something that I want, instead of just guessing and plugging and playing until I dig through the bowels of Spotify to try and find a song that works. So it's still going to take you time, no matter what, to plan a playlist. It is still going to be time consuming. We are never going to fix that entirely because we're picky, right? What we want, we want. We want the inspiration. We want the songs that we love. And sometimes it takes a little while to find all that. But if you have a system and you have an organized way to go through that system, it will save you a boatload of stress, and it does save a decent amount of time. So I do highly recommend setting up your Spotify or whatever it is that you use. I'm sure Apple Music, you can do this too, and create some kind of folder system that allows you to do this. Now, before I sign off, something that's very important. When I tell people this, and when they take my course and they start to freak out and they're like, oh, I need to go back and sort all my music. That's going to take forever. You don't. From here on out, create those folders. And now every single time you do a class, after the class, go in and sort the music that you used. So you start to build those folders. You start to build everything in there, but you don't have to go back. You can if you want to. If you feel like you can handle all that, you can go back to old playlists and sort them. You certainly don't have to. You can start from here and build. It doesn't take that long if you're teaching, a class or two a week or more. You will start to build that repertoire, and it'll be, before you know it, something that's very helpful to you. So don't stress about it. Just do it little by little, and it'll be great. Hey, Matt. Kimberly said, I do that. Labeling is so smart. Also keeping a folder of 2 to 3 minute length songs just in case. Yes. Yeah. I keep all the folders, for every minute length. I actually find the really helpful one is the songs that are long. So like the 6-7 minute songs, because I have a hard time finding those that I enjoy. Sometimes they have a really slow build or they're just kind of boring. So having those ones is key, because those are tricky for me to find. But really anything, because sometimes when you're lacking motivation, it's just, you got to dig. So Elena, I think you asked this question. I'm about to sign off, but just go back and watch the recording. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I check those. And remember that I always have that course on my website. If you need it, I'll post it in the comments here. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your week. See ya.